Hello and welcome. Today we are at LEGOLAND Windsor and we are going to take a look around their fantastic Miniland. Now, just like Billund, this is going to be a big one. So if you're going to need some drinks and some snacks and that sort of thing, because this is just under 2 hours long. Now again, just like Billund, I'm going to try and do this all in one take with one big voiceover. I have supplies right beside me. I will let you listen to the animatronics and sound effects as we go round, and then we will just see all the different bits and pieces as we go. But you can see there is a lot of detail where we're starting, and then when we get round to London and I can place the camera actually in the city, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to let you soak it in for a second or two, and then we'll start moving on. So we are at Sunspot Raceway currently. You can see there is plenty of picnics and everything like that to try and soak in. So in the comments below, what I need you to do is going to play a bit of a game. How many times the camera overheats, how many times I have to change the battery, and how many different bits of files have been put together. Try and keep a tally and then let me know in the comments below. Anything that you spot that I do not say, again, let everybody know in the comments below as we go around. Now there is actually quite something that it took me to sort of a double take at this bit, because just recently, they've obviously done the F1 at Silverstone, and we are currently at Santapod, which is obviously a completely different place. But they actually do have, as we pan around, the 3 Formula 1 cars with the first, second and third people on the actual podium as well. So I missed it the first time, and then I actually then ended up coming back and then spotting it. But you can see it just to the left, but I didn't see it myself as we went through. And there are some also hidden Easter eggs within the crowds and things. So that the F1 cars, I just completely pan around the first time. I didn't even think about looking at them. Look, so I zoomed into completely the wrong thing. And it wasn't until I eyeballed it, and then we went back and had a good look at it. So there is a lot of different bits and pieces to see. Now, obviously, there are some animatronics there moving forward and backwards, because for some reason, even though they've just redone this whole area, I was here a couple of weeks ago, and they had the Red Bull racing team shooting around the track, because last year it used to be monster trucks, but there's nothing there this time, and there's nothing in the countdown, and the dragsters across the back weren't working either. So I think they're still trying to sort out all the animatronics and everything from this land. But there we go. Look, I actually then finally clocked onto it and we had a look. So we've got the Ferrari, the Red Bull and the Mercedes with the 3 people that were on the podium that day. So we had Hamilton, Sainz and Mr. Charles as well. So that was the first 3, I do believe, from that Grand Prix. But like I said, we are at Santapod Raceway. And then the whole point of this video, again, just like Billund, because Billund was a monster of a video as well, which I know a lot of you have watched, and the feedback's been really, really good from that. So this is a very, very detailed look at absolutely everything. So this one's obviously a little bit more open, because annoyingly, the vehicles and things aren't going around. But like I said, when we get to the animatronic side of stuff and we try and spot different bits and pieces in the crowd, I will go quiet for you guys and girls to actually be able to listen to some bits and pieces. And then as we get over to the NASA space station stuff, there's lots and lots going on there, lots of little hidden Easter eggs and things. And then when we get into London, the detail just looks like you're in an actual city as well. So we're starting again in a completely different place to where I normally start. We're in a much more open area at the moment. I tried to go to each area where there was nobody about at all, so we could soak absolutely everything, and I think I managed to do it. I don't think I missed anything at all. So I mean, I shouldn't have done, because the hour, like I said, it's just under 2 hours long. The helicopter, I think, wasn't there a couple of weeks ago. I think that's a new animatronic that's been added in, and you can see all of the lorries and things in the background. Then we've got all of these cool little sort of picnic areas and things. Now these keep moving, they keep relocating these. I'm sure there were caravans and things over this way to start with, and now they put like these little picnic bits in there. You can see they've got all the little ice lollies, and then you've got marshmallows, and it looks like they've got all sorts of bits and pieces in there. But again, there's a lot of hidden detail and a lot of stuff within. So you've obviously got the bigger models as well, and you've got all the teams across the back. Now, again, not 100% sure with the branding on the lorries at the back, so you guys will have to let me know in the comments below what you can spot with regards to that. But like I said, we are just going to try and soak in absolutely everything as we go across, and then we will just see what we can find. Now, I'm going quiet, only because I'm trying to think. There is something coming up, and I can't remember. It's on this roof. No. So when we go around a little bit further down, I think it's actually within the crowd. It just looks like it's a normal crowd, but then there's actually a Viking and there's some people in fancy dress. So there are different bits and pieces to hunt down and find. So these are the teams. I think they just made up. That was a change. That wasn't the greatest. So that's number 1. So I'll give you that one. But keep a tally as we go and let me know in the comments below what you find. But lots and lots of different cars. You can see all the cars at the front. You've got the one with the Union Jack, and then you've got the little caterans and things at the front there. And then you've got, well, you know what one that is, that grey one. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but you've got the Back to the Future car just there. And then you've got all the sort of the race trucks. That crane. That is, I think, was working. Don't think it was the Wind, because it is another branded car, which is on a back of a flatbed, which we will see in a second. And that is one of the only animatronics on this side moving around. So usually, a lot of this is moving. So you usually have the bits and pieces going in and out the back of the lorry. So that car normally moves for the AB racing, and then you have these dragsters here, which on a push of a button, and then you can race each other, but they weren't moving either. So you're just gonna have to sort of just imagine what it's like. But there's a lot of bins. I think they've added, like I say, it's like every single thing I do about bins, but they seem to have added quite a lot of new bins in there. That's obviously another bed moving around there with the back of the truck. And as we come down and around, we will see the Viking, hopefully. So you're just gonna have to spot it and see where it is. Hopefully I zoom in on it. But you just have a look in the crowd, and there's a lot of everything. I couldn't see if there was any little hidden things inside the actual Santa Pod Ferris wheel, because obviously you can imagine that at Christmas time, for example, they'll end up putting some reindeer and things in there. But like I said, all of this is new for 2022, so hopefully they'll get the rest of it working, and it'll be really nice to see it all. But as we come around, just keep looking. So we've got AB, topless people just there. I didn't actually spot that the first time. You've got the German flag up at the top, and then there they are there, look. So you've got the little Viking horns coming in, and then you've got the guy running on the right-hand side, and then you've got just the normal people coming up and down the steps. So the people in the crowd do change quite a lot, which is always good fun. So they obviously keep pulling them in and out. And again, you've got the people on the back of this one, which you can see from the other side. So they look like they're a little bit newer on that one. And then as we come round, you've got even more cars, and then you've got more camping bits, and you've got some more games and things, which I think we're going to have a look at. And then we'll move on to the next land. So like I said, this one is a lot more open than the actual main sort of towns and cities. So this is the biggest difference between Windsor. They have a lot of everything here. So if you're comparing this to Billund itself, it's just all the different cities sort of in Denmark. And I think like Dubai, again, for example, you're walking around and it's all of the big skyscrapers from Dubai. Whereas this itself, you've got the Santa Pod Raceway from the UK, and then you've got London. I think there's Brighton. I think they're the 3 main ones from over this way. And then as we come round, you've got all of Paris, and then I do believe we go past Belgium, we've got Italy, we have got Denmark as well, we've got the Netherlands, and they're all in their own areas and zones that we can look at. So there's a lot to take in. So if you are watching from further afield, let me know if you can spot anything from your local hometown or your local country. Again, let everybody know in the comments below what it is, how accurate have they got it. And if you've been to Santa Pod Raceway, is this now what Santa Pod Raceway is looking like? Or have they just got their own interpretation? Because all of this, like I said, has all been added in now, basically. So they didn't have any of this there originally. They didn't have a Ferris wheel there. They didn't have any of these sort of splashing fun places. The rock climbing wall with the truck I quite like. But yeah, none of these. All of these people are new. All of this sort of all the models and everything, they're all new as well. So again, there's a lot to look at and a lot to take in. But just let everybody know as we go around in the comments below how accurate it is. Now we're going to their interpretation of America. Now if you listen in the background when people talk, people get really confused because they go, oh, this is this, and then there's a bridge, and there's this, and there's that. So each thing that we're going to see at is just different bits from America itself. It's not one country. Don't get confused with it. Because it was quite funny listening to people and arguing about the Golden Gate Bridge, and then, well, that shouldn't be there and this is there, and they don't actually read the map. So I made the executive decision to go right instead of going left, to then turn around to go back left again, because there's a huge group of people. So we end up seeing this twice, and just get ready for the sensational change. This will be take number 2 coming up, and then I'm not going to give any more away. There we go. So that's the kind of things that you've got to look for. So we are 2 in just under 10 minutes. So I start to go right, and then, like I said, we'll spin round, and then we'll go left. But we don't walk back up this way. Again, those bikes weren't working either. All the trains were. They were there. All the trains this time in all the lands were working, but they just seemed to be tweaking a few different bits and pieces. And there were actually a couple of people in the lands sort of cutting different bits and pieces back. So maybe that was a thing. So in America, what can you spot and where is everything from? So let everybody know what thing that you can see, and then what I will do is see what I can spot. So there was a bride and groom, so there's a person with a wedding dress just there. That looks like it's Elvis crossing over the crossing. So like I said, there's a little bit more with regards to sort of display scene setup in this one. Not a massive amount compared to all the others. Like I said, this is still very, very open. And then there's more and more to look at where it's not as spacious as this. But these just have absolutely massive models of absolutely everything. As you can see the Statue of Liberty in the background. But then I'm looking for the smaller bits and pieces to try and shout out for you guys. So you guys keep looking at the bigger bits and then let us know. But you've got the rooftop garden up at the top on that one. So you let everybody know in the comments what each thing is from with regards to what state and everything, and I will do my best to see what I can find to let you know in case you can't spot it. And if I miss it and you spot it, let me know. So I'm looking at the roofs, I'm looking at the floor. Because again, comparing to this one in Billund and Dubai, obviously we'll have to compare the major tour Billund video to this one. From right from the get-go, there are multiple figures and multiple displays, whereas what we've started at is obviously much more bigger buildings. But then, like I did say, it gets very busy very, very quickly. So this is actually quite nice and easy, and then all of a sudden there will be loads and loads and loads of stuff going on. So you can imagine that maybe they have sort of refurbed some of the bits and pieces where it is very, very open and green, but you've got the yellow Hummer driving around just there. And then as we come around, you can just see how big it is. Now, again, the big difference between this one and Windsor, forgetting the actual models and everything like that, is regards to, I like that little flower bed in there, and I like the bikes on the side, and the person that's got the blue hair, I think that's quite cool, is just actually how deep the lands are in Windsor. Because it's really awkward for me with the camera to zoom in right into the middle of some of the lands, because they are very, very deep. Whereas the ones in Billund, there's more lands, but they're not as deep as this one. So you sort of walk around, but then you've got another land directly behind you, so you can do more figures of eights, whereas these are much bigger circles. So with regards to layout and structure, again, let everybody know what ones you prefer, but you can see everything that's going on. The reason why I panned up there was just to remind myself that ride actually broke down, and they actually managed to get it fixed very, very quickly, because there was a couple of school kids up in there. It was a massive school trip day, and they were only up there for about maybe 15-20 minutes, but they got them down quick enough. So if you hear some cheers in the background out of nowhere, it's nothing that I've done. It's just solely because they got the ride going again, and then it was up and running straight away. So as we come around, what we've got the Bird Hotel, and then we've got some little bits and pieces behind. I'm not too sure what's behind that. I don't know what they're supposed to be, so I'm just being a bit thick on that one. I don't know what the really nice colourful bits and pieces are, but then you've got like the little bank and everything like that. Just looking. So you've got the tables and chairs. Excuse me, there we go, that's the first time. So we've got tables and chairs just to the right, and then we've got all the cattle, and then we've got this sort of spaceship and the one-eyed little monster. And then we will be coming into the basketball courts and everything like that, and then I think we loop round into the White House and everything. So it's going to get busier quickly. So enjoy the spaciousness and soaking all of this in. You can see that car is still shooting around. I'm sure there would have been another one going the other way, but I'm sure they've taken some little bits and pieces out and are in the process of just adding some more bits in, because there was a lot of model makers around doing some bits. So if I come back again to, for example, at Halloween or Christmas, I would like to think that it would have changed ever so slightly. So the difference with regards to noises and animatronics is that this is a little bit more music based, whereas the one in Billund, it's a lot more sort of sounds of cars, vehicles, and obviously you've got like the people and just people talking and things. But as we go round into London, that will change ever so slightly, and then it's a little bit more hustle and bustle with regards to noise. But this one, it is more sort of music based. And then I think as we come round to the White House, we also then have noises of helicopters and bits and pieces like that. So you can see you've got the little park. I'm just trying to spot anything that I can think of that you guys won't see. I'm looking at it through a really small screen, so it's a bit annoying because it's not a big. I can't open it up fully on the laptop to have a look at absolutely everything, because of just how this all has to be put together. But it is what it is. So the yellow Hummer is still going round and through, and then you can see we're coming into the Statue of Liberty. That music's kicked back off again. So there's the helicopter for the back of the White House. There is no sound effect for that. I did lie. But we will, if I remember rightly, there is a nice little diorama scene with a little dog at the front of this. So this is where we now start to try and wake up a little bit and try and start to find some bits and pieces. You've got the eagle at the top of the roof, and then you've got some nice sort of red added into those bricks at the front. You've got all the people at the front of the White House with food and things. But then all these people at the gates, and then there he is. Look, so you've got the little person there feeding the dog a little bit of hot dog, which is nice. And then you've got all of these people at the front. You've got the bikes, so you've got the cars and everything coming through. There is a specific word for that, but I can't quite remember exactly what it is when there's a massive fleet of them coming through. And then the fountain is not on, but then I can't remember if over in the UK that actually was a water fountain or if that is just a feature. But talking of features, this is obviously changed massively. They've taken all the green and everything away, so it'd be interesting to see what they've replanted there, or are they going to add in something new to this section? Because obviously they've just left, you can see the wires and things. So I can't remember what was there originally apart from it being green grass. So it would be really interesting to see what it was, because I don't think it was a big building like this. Yes, that is another change as we go straight in. There we go. Because it would have blocked off obviously the White House. I can't remember seeing anything in there to start with, but again, if you've got a better memory than me, please let me and everybody else know in the comments below, because that wasn't there say 6 weeks ago. That was all grass, I'm sure it was. That wasn't dug up. I know when I did come a couple of weeks ago, one of the buildings did look like it had been knocked. I don't know if it was just because of the weather or anything like that, but there's no way that they would have taken up all of that amount of stuff just for that one area. Now, obviously, because you don't have the licensing to a lot of the stuff, you've got what would have been Madame Tussauds. I'll let you guys figure out what the rest of them should be. But again, that's just a good bit of fun, and the detail through that is really, really, really nice. You've got the cop car, you've got people dancing, breakdancing, you've got 3 different lots of them going on. You've got a couple of little carts, loads and loads of taxis. Somebody's had an accident, they've fallen over just down there. Unbelievable. This is the bit. Beat me to it. This is the bit that if you stand on bits and pieces, it will give you the information too. So there's a bit right in front where it just says basically stand on me, and 500 white bricks in the design. It just keeps giving you information like that. So that's something that's nice, like a little sort of different animatronic and sort of interaction within this section of the Miniland. So that's a nice little touch. Like you can see, there's loads and loads of taxis, loads of little of the yellow cabs, and that one does have its own Lego logo on the top as well, because it's got its own sponsorship. And then as we're coming around, we've got some more big buildings, and then we will spin round to the last sort of open section. And like I said, it's just going to get busier and busier until we get to London, Wales and Scotland, and then we've got some really nice open areas towards the end. So there's great detail to come from every single land. Now I crouched down, got the camera in the right position, went to zoom in, and it stopped. So then I had to then stand back up again, because it's very, very low. You can see the silver railings around the outside, so you've got to sort of crouch down on the concrete to get down there. It does start again quite quickly, so we go back. But again, I quite like how they've got all the benches and everything on this one. You've got a couple of little picnic bits, you've got the person walking the dog. Lots going on. We've got the horse and carriage, all the benches at the back. You've got the family, which looks like they're going to get the photo taken right at the back, wearing the red dress just there. and then it looks like there's a little hot dog stall. You've got another horse and carriage, which looks like that bloke's going to get absolutely mullered by that horse. And then you've got the lady walking the little dog. As we're coming round, nothing else in there. We've got a couple of runners, and that's about it on that one. And then we're going again. So, person on the park bench, looks like they've got a little one of those see-through yellow lollipops, which you can get from the ice cream van set. So they have added some normal Lego elements to this as well, which obviously these aren't minifigure scale stuff like it is at the Lego house, because obviously it would just be too hard to see just because of how depth it is, how far it is. So you would really struggle to see the actual minifigures in there. They'd have to make the lands much smaller, and so you'd be able to have like a path basically going down and across the middle just to be able to see everything. So that is why it is at this scale. But the Lego house, it isn't. It's all minifigure scale with loads and loads of minifigures, which I know some people do prefer. But it is what it is with regards to having it outside. You're just not going to see those minifigures, and it just needs to be a little bit bigger. Otherwise, you're going to need some binoculars when you're going around. Right, that is full length. I am at full length on the camera, and it doesn't look like we're very close whatsoever. So I either need a bigger lens, or I need a completely different camera whatsoever to be able to get this Miniland. If you're watching this from further afield, is your Miniland got this much depth as well, or is Windsor just quite unusual with regards to its layout? Because it is a slightly older park. I don't think Germany has the depth of this one. Obviously, Dubai definitely doesn't. We've covered that one, and we've also covered the Billund as well. Now, if you are interested in this and you are still watching after the first 20 minutes, thank you very much indeed. There is a playlist available solely for Minilands as well. So what I've done is that you've got all the different playlists for the 2022 season. So that is obviously so far we've done Dubai, Billund, Windsor, and hopefully it's coming in 2022. There'll be a German playlist as well, so we'll get over to Legoland Germany. But continuously over all the years, I will be adding in all the Minilands into its own playlist. So the latest one that I did before this was the massive hour-and-a-half tour from Legoland Billund, and this one is slightly longer, only because I didn't have to walk so quickly, and I actually managed to stay in places slightly longer, where I had to keep moving a little bit more in Billund, just because it was a little bit more busy, just because of the time of day that I went. But you will notice that when we get to London, it does start to pick up a little bit. But so that's why I actually end up putting the camera down and get some really low views to let everybody walk past me and take some photos, and then I carry on. So I will start to incorporate that technique a little bit more in the other parks. But you see what I mean when we get there. It just looks like we're actually in the city. We get some nice views. Now we have got some amazing detail on this model, and if you notice straight away, you've got the little sort of act going on at the front with the dragon, but then you've got all the camera crews and people taking photos with their selfie sticks on the left-hand side, and you've got the musicians on the right, and then you've got all sorts of different people walking up and down those steps, and you can see the train in the background, just how far back that train actually is and how far it goes. So like I said, there is a lot to soak in and a lot to take in, but it is extremely deep. So like I said, I am at full length on the camera at the moment. Ideally, the zoom needs to be a little bit stronger, so you can see those pandas at the back a little bit clearer, and you can see the shark a little bit clearer, but I'm afraid it is what it is. You're just going to have to put up with it. But where those pandas are, I think there are people on the grass, but I'm not 100% sure what they're doing. And then we've obviously got all the boats and things, and then further up as we pan up, you can see the little crocodiles or the alligators just by the stones. And then we've got the beach volleyball, and then you've got some more volleyball things going on against those houses as well. And now as we come round, we're coming over to Sydney. In case you didn't realise we are in Miniland, I thought I'd just get that in just as a little Easter egg to everybody in case you wondered exactly where we are. Now Miniland itself on the map as we go around, so there's no little Easter eggs on this one. It's just a massive building. As we go around Miniland as it is, it's completely different to some of the parks, because Dubai you basically use it as a cut through, and you can go either directly across Miniland like a big X shape, and then you come to a door, and then you've got a big horseshoe around the outside where you do all the lands and you can come back in, because Miniland in Dubai is actually indoors. Now the one in Billund, it is in the centre of the park as you come in, but you don't actually have to walk directly past the Lego models for certain bits, so it's not that busy. But when we do get to London, if you are coming down one of the arteries down that way, it literally takes you to Miniland, and that is the start of Miniland. But a lot of people just use that as a cut through to then carry on into Ninjago. So with regards to placements in the parks, I think Germany's completely different, and I think Florida is different with regards to, you can either go into the Miniland and enjoy it, or you can sort of walk around the outer edge on a separate path and see it, but you're not walking past the people that are sort of looking at the model. So each park has its own completely different sort of placement to where their Miniland is located, obviously, and then they've also got all their own models and everything as well. So let us know how yours is in your local park with regards to what you've got in there and how it is and everything else like that. Right, now we are coming over to NASA. So this is the last of the big spacious areas. There's more in here than the other lands, and then it gets very, very busy. So I'm going to then have to start speaking quite quickly. So we've got all the rockets, we've got the swamps, and we've got all the little crocodiles and the alligators. There's loads of those hidden in. And if you notice, there's a couple of people fishing, running away. There's that guy in the blue that's leaning back, so I'm not 100% sure what he's caught. And you've got the, like I said, you've got the swamp, and then you've got the guy fishing up at the top as well. So you've got a lot of people on the outer edge, and you can have a look. If you just got to sort of pan all the way around the outside and not just focus on the bits in the middle, because you've got all the boats in the middle with everything that's going on, but then you've got groups of people, and they are all doing slightly different things. And what I do quite like is, obviously, at night, these street lamps will be lit. So I'm looking forward to going back when the clocks change, and all of this will be dark, and then you can see it all from a completely different perspective. So that'd be a really nice thing to sort of see and have a look at. Now, as we have a look at these guys on here, they have got a load of different ice creams, if you notice. So they're all sat down having a nice bite to eat, just watching everything that is going on. And now we're coming into the NASA train station. So there is a little bit of animatronics and voices on this one, so I will start going quiet when necessary. So you've got obviously the Space Academy now with lots of different bits and pieces to look at, and hopefully the camera will pick it up, because as I come round and zoom into the side of this, there's actually quite a lot to have a look at on the side of it as well. So all going well, we'll be able to see everything that is on the inside. You've got the front door, because I could see it, but I couldn't see it through my lens because of the sort of the backlight. But directly in front, as I zoom in, hopefully it will pick it all up on the left-hand side as well. So you've got the doors, and yes, they got like the lunar lander in there up at the top. That's what that vehicle is up at the top. So they've got the space people working on the bottom tier, but the second tier up, where you've got the yellow bit sticking out, there is another model in there. It's not the clearest, because it's a little bit dark in there. Wish it had a little light or something just so you could see it a little bit better, but you know, it is what it is. Now we're coming around, you've got all the big rockets and stuff at the Kennedy Space Center, and now we're going to have a look at all the models. So again, completely different structure and layout to the one that they've got in Billund. They don't have anything like this in Dubai. They do have the big rocket that takes off, but just with regards to space, models, structure and layout, this one is completely different, again, to the one that we've got in Billund with regards to figure placement, model placement, and just what is where. So as you look through, not only will you have all the people directly in front of you, but you've got all the people walking up the scaffolding on the left-hand side. You've got all the vehicles at the back and underneath. Now, the animatronics on this are working, so you've got the vehicles going around, but on the roof, you've got a random green car right at the top of the roof, because I don't know how that's got there. And then you've got the little birds and things. So you've got the little seagulls and stuff just chilling out at the top. And then you just got to eyeball and look through, and you've got all the families that are walking around. And then you've got the big buses, and you've got the big lorries behind that, and you've got the trucks behind that. But it's so far back to try and zoom in and pan in. It is quite difficult to see everything. So hopefully we'll go from top to bottom, and we're able to see everything's right at the back, and then we'll start looking at the front. So you've got all those trucks down at the back there. You've got a couple of little diorama pieces, and you've got the ambulance and everything to the left, and you've got more pieces of people at the back, but that's just too far to see what's going on. And then you've got the little space shop. I like that, because you've got the little kiosk at the front there, and then you've got all the people waiting at the bus stop. Again, somebody's had an accident because they've fallen over. And then you've got the lady in the wheelchair paying for some bits and pieces, and you've got all these different bits of food, all the vending machines. You've got the old lady with the walking stick. And let's keep going through. Now it's starting to pick up a little bit. So you've got the big, I guess that's the main ticket office to actually get into the attractions. I've never been here myself. So if you've been to this attraction in real life, how does it compare? Is it relatively accurate? And again, you've got a nice little photo opportunity with regards to the NASA bit at the front. It looks like you've got a burger bar to the bottom left. You've got a little family, and then to the right hand side, it looks like there's some other bits and pieces going on that one. And then we've got another ticket office on this side. So I would imagine if you could step back far enough and take a photo, that'd be a really nice photo of the two ticket booths either side with the actual main bit in the middle. Now the rocket had just taken off. I missed that because I was too busy concentrating on everything else, but we will get the rocket taking off. And that space rocket, if you need to know, takes off every 10 minutes. Now we've gone for half an hour, and like I said, this is just under 2 hours long. So if my voice is really annoying, just mute me. It's not a problem. I won't be offended. It's just I thought me trying to help you find some bits and pieces might be a little bit easier than just complete silence. And the feedback that I got from doing a really long detailed tour in Billund, and just the amount of people that have watched that and for how long everybody's been watching it for, it is obviously something that you guys are quite interested in, which is always nice to know. Now at the bottom of all of these, if you just sort of get your eyes moving around, bottom right hand corner you've got the little children just there, but the bottom left you've got the little photo opportunity with the astronaut. And then obviously at the bottom of each one of those rockets, you've got people taking photos and everything. And then you've got this cool little thing here with all the little ones. And actually that's in their little play area and things as well. So that must be their little adventure play area. I have no idea if that is accurate because, like I said, I've not been there. So I can't compare it to the real thing. But maybe we'll have to do a side-by-side comparison one day of me actually walking around the actual space centre and going, oh yeah, they've got this at Legoland, they've got this here, and they've got that there. And we can see how it compares. Now, zooming in, you've got the lunar and the NASA news crews here, and you can see that they are prepping for sort of a bit of camera work to go on. And then as we come round, you will see the crawler, which is obviously where they put the rocket on. So that's just got another 8-minute countdown. That now isn't working. It used to work, and it used to move forward and backwards, and that's obviously the big thing that carries the actual rocket to the pad. That now no longer does, but you've got the space crew there at the bottom. But there's a lot to take in and a lot to see with regards to everything that is going up the steps on the right hand side, where you've got the rocket fuel on the left, and how high this thing is. Just the scale of this thing is absolutely massive. And you can get a good vantage point from this taking off. Actually, if you did walk up to the Ben & Jerry's bit just at the back, that oversees the Miniland area quite nicely. So if you are coming from the top where Ben & Jerry's is, you can have a good look down, and then you can loop it round, take some steps down, and then you make your way into where we started this area. Or you can go the other bit where that lady is with the pushchair, and you can walk up and go that way. So we will have a loop and a look round the back of this, see the little bits and pieces that we've got. And then I do believe we'll then cross over, and then we'll sort of walk around Paris and go from there. So there is a lot to come, just like there's a lot of detail within this model as well. So you can see that this is actually a really good photo opportunity for a lot of people. And a lot of people, when they realise where the countdown is, they'll then stop and wait and try and get some photos taken. But there's so much hidden detail at the back of this, which nobody ever walks around and sees. So if you can imagine how long this took to build, then obviously have a guess and let everybody know. Let everybody know your guess, but you've got everything from the top where you've got all the, just the little string details up at the top just in there, so that's what I was zooming in at. And then you've got all the different staircases, you've got the little door at the top left-hand corner there, where obviously they've got like the little chute and shaft where they can go up and down. And then they've just got everything. They've got so much detail hidden within the back of that. I think it's easily missed for the people that just end up just running past it and just, getting a load of photos and moving off. But I try and soak it in as best as possible for everybody. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this little tour so far. Now we are moving on, so we're going to do a full loop, and again I'm going to go round and left. There's I think the new thing I spotted on this one, bottom left hand corner, there is a little art bit set up. Look, you can see there's nobody actually stood in front of it, but I haven't seen that before. It's either that or it's supposed to be a menu. So I'm not 100% sure which one that's supposed to be, but I thought it was supposed to be a painting thing. And then you can see you've got the little paper bits. You've got some more people under the table there with the table and chairs. You've got a little sofa by the looks of it as well. Or, sorry, an outdoor seating area, should I say, because you are outdoors. But that is blocking off the front door. So maybe that is actually supposed to be a step. But we'll see. That sort of yellowy thing at the bottom. I'm guessing it might supposed to be a step, but we'll breeze over that one. I can't go back. You guys have to go back and let me know, because like I said, it's trying to do this in one take, and as fast as I move it as quickly as I talk. So I'm not going to stop it and go back. Just let us know. Change there we go. So that's, I don't know what that is now, but the detail in this is amazing. Now if you do come and you can zoom in on your phone, or you have like an adjustable lens on a very, very fancy camera. To the left and the right hand side of this model, there is some hidden details just on the side. So I do try and catch it. I think I end up crouching down and trying to zoom in. Now, where those trees are, there is another door, and there's a little ramp that comes up, and there's some more really nice detail on the side of that building as well. And they've got it on both sides, and they've also got it on the back. But to see it at the back, you have to walk all the way around the other side of the land, and you can't see. You can see it with the eye, but you can't really see it through the camera, which is a little bit of a shame. Now you've got all of these buildings up at the top, and then you've got some real birds. They do actually just keep flying around, so you spot them. They keep hunting us down as we go. But you've got 3 buildings up that one. The very, very top one is actually the lift. So that isn't. We will see that in a slightly better detail in a little bit. And then as we start coming down and round, we will see that there is some mountain goats, and then they're in different colours as they come into the different pockets as well. So we will hunt those down. See if you can spot them before I do. So I actually end up going back and doing it again. Now, if you notice, there's a little... So they spot the goats, and they also, I do believe, they end up spotting the little dog, which is quite cute to see. So you've got the little... There you go, so they said it there. So they're St. Bernards. So I remember them saying that. I was like, what are they talking about? And if you spotted, there is actually a dog down at the bottom, which I then hunt down and find. So thanks to them is because of the reason that we found it. And now up we've got the mountain climbers. So you've got the people doing the mountaineering. That's coming through clear, so that's nice. So you don't have to explain that one too much. But as I come down, there are 2 different colours. How quickly can you spot them? So you got them on the right, and yes, there they are. They were. That was a tiptoe, arm up as high as it will go job. They're very well hidden, those. They're a completely different colour. And then you saw the train that came through. You had the little tower there. Now you've got the guy there, which I think is sorting out some flowers. And there is the dog that lady was talking about. So that's a cool little thing. And then you've got all the people on tables and chairs just chilling out. It looks like only 1 table has been served so far, though. So it does look like they need to speed up on the service of that one. And again, you've got all the greenery just in here. So you've got more people. You've got the strong redhead just there with the big beard as well, by the looks of it. And you've got the people with the backpacks just walking around. And then you've got some more mountain goats. And that, I thought that was moving, but maybe it wasn't. I'm sure that does work. I don't know if it's on a timer, but they obviously, those little carriages do end up going all the way up to the top and then coming back down again. And then that is the train going back through. And now we're starting to get into some real detail. So I'm just going to let you soak in for a second all the noises as I have a drink, because like I said, I wanted to do this in one take, and then we will start shouting it all out. Right, here we go. Hopefully now I don't start burping down the microphone. Luckily that went down the right pipe, or I'll start choking. So if you saw straight away, you had all the greenery. Now this is what I spotted. This is something else that's hidden. You've got this sort of bridge area, which I've never seen before. So if you know what that is, please let everybody know in the comments below. I don't know what that is. You can only physically see it from there because it's hidden with the shrubbery. So you really sort of have to crouch down and get on your knees to see where all these different bits and pieces are. Now, the first building we saw, we had all the green going up the side, and then you've got all of these bits and pieces going on now. So you've got another picnic scene, you've got the people with the benches, you've got what looks like people carrying stuff through the front door on the bottom left. You've got somebody else on a park bench on the bottom right. There is nothing hidden on the roofs on this one, though, so it's just on the balconies. And then you've got the Citroen C3s and stuff like that as we're coming around. So At Halloween at Christmas, this is where we'll be having to come back and having a look at all the rooftops, because obviously they hide a lot of the models on the roof, and they will change. They change figure placement quite a lot. So you've got a spot for the new stuff. So they've got the Tour of France going on, and if you did see it, there is a little, what looks like a little ice cream carton right in the middle there, behind the car. It had the little yellow roof. The trains are running full fat, so they're going round and round and round, and you can see all of these different bits and pieces going. So you've got all the people waving the flags. Is there a little Easter egg in there? Has somebody put something silly in there? Or are they all serious fans? Again, that was a really smooth change. So we're going to get low because there is somebody within the trees. So I'm not too sure if it's a photographer, or if it's somebody working on the tree, or if it's just slightly overgrown. But the detail is amazing. So hopefully you spent some good time in, yourself when you come here and had a look. And if you've actually missed anything and you are still watching this because you went out already 40 minutes in, let us know if you're learning some new bits and pieces. But I think they're having a bit of a shout about the Tour of France. I'll just go quiet for a sec. So you could hear the commentary team as they're cycling through, and then you've got this little thing on the corner. I think, again, is a really, really nice touch. Now, again, we will be going full length, and it is annoying to see. But we will find... Hang on. Right, here we go. So... we are going to move up and pan full length, and we have got all the firefighter bits and pieces going on. So you can see right hand side, you've got all of those people that we saw in that front of the corner. They're doing all whatever they're doing. It'd be maybe apple picking or something like that. But you can see that you've got the fire brigade there having their training. Now that is the absolute massive building that I said that is on the other side. So that thing is absolutely enormous, but you cannot get any closer to that than where we are, because obviously just of how it is. But that is full zoom, and it still seems ages away, which is a bit of a shame. So there will be a lot more detail in that we just can't find, which is a little bit of a shame. But there is a lot going on now within this area. So you can see all of a sudden it is starting to pick up. They've added in more and more figures. They've added in a lot of everything. So this is now going to be the pace for a little while. And then, like I said, when we get to London, this is basically what London looks like for the whole time. You have got, if you look, you've got like what looks like little squids in the bottom right-hand corner. They're red. You've got all the elements there for baguettes, bagels. You've got carrots, apples, flowers. You've got the little car boot guy there opening up the back on the bottom left. There's even all the people sat down having lunch in the far back. I've got the little guy in the wheelchair, and it's just a lot of stalls selling a lot of stuff. But just look how nice that is. And then again, you've got the fire brigade down the right hand side. Try to get a little bit more detail up there, but you're just not gonna get it in. And then as we come round, we will go into a little bit of water, and then hopefully we'll start having a look at some of the animatronics. Now I do go around a couple of times because we see that there you've got the nice little scene there. But as we come through, you will see what I'm trying to get at is that there's a person fishing in the bottom left-hand corner. You've got the people there with all the flowers and stuff, but then you've got the roof, and then you've got the guy there fixing it all, which we will have a better look at in a second. We will have a look at all the boats and things going around. So now all of a sudden it just feels like you're in a completely different place. We've gone from having all the big buildings and it all being really spacious to now looking very, very accurate to the cities. But a lot of this have been redone recently, so they've retiled all the bits and pieces. They've added in lots of sort of tables, a lot of plantation with regards to actually Lego-based stuff, not the actual real plantation. But you can see you've got all the boats at the back. I can't go any further in than that, but you've got all the French flags at the back. You've got more little diorama and scenes set up on there. You've got all the cars, you've got the guy on the scaffolding. Now, this bus with the wheel that's fallen off, I'm sure what they've done is they've nicked that from the NASA space station, because that was one of the buses that was moving around. As you can see that there are actually people within that bus, but that has been there for ages now. So I'm not 100% sure what that is doing there, but it is what it is. And you can see what I mean about like all these little bits and pieces here where they've added in all the little trees and all the little bushes. That's all new. All these flowers are new. All these tables. Even the windows look like they've been redone on this side, which obviously don't forget, because this is outdoors, it does get weathered quite quickly with regards to obviously the sun damage and then obviously the rain. But had a good zoom in this, so you're going to have to pan your eyes around a lot. But this guy, look, is the person that looks like he deals with all the tracks. So that to me, I think, is supposed to be the person that pulls and all the switch tracks on the railway, and it has the little railway pattern up on the wall, and then you've got all the cars and the bus, and then we come up and you've got the lighthouse, and then if you saw it, you had the little people at the bottom with the life jackets and things on, which looks like they were getting ready for some fishing. They had the yellow trousers on just there. And then we'll have a quick pan around and just see if there's anything else that we can see with regards to on the rooftops and stuff, because it's further back where the water is. That's what I was trying to get at, where those French flags are, but just couldn't get there. So coming from this French flag all the way down, so you got on the boat, you can see the cars. I don't think we'll catch any animatronics, but there's a seagull on that person's head, so he's been attacked by the seagull. And then there's another guy with a bit of a what looks like maybe a fishing net or a butterfly net, and then that guy looks like he's got a crab on his head. As we're coming round and down, and there's another one of those buses with one of the wheels popped off. So maybe they've just moved all the buses over to France, and then they're going to replace all the buses in America, which, you know, I guess. And now we've come into a completely different section. So I think this might be Brighton Pier, I think, because you've got I'm sure we've got like the White Cliffs of Dover, and then we've got like Paris and everything else like that. So correct me if I'm wrong, my geography's not exactly amazing, but I'm sure that that's what this potentially should be. But just eyeballs on the actual pier itself. All the people walking up, round and down. You've got people fishing, you've got people taking photos, just people basically walking around. You've got that person that looks like they're having a suntan, so he's topless there, off the sort of red and white building between the two boats. He's in a pair of Speedos by the looks of it. And then you've got the guy that looks like he's topless getting served a kebab. And then you've got the old Doris that's about to fall off her chair. She had the yellow outfit on. And now we're in the Pride Parade. So we've got the sports mall and everything like that. That we'll have a better look at that in a second. So we have a look at all the rooftops, and I will go around. So we go back up this way to make sure I didn't miss anything first. I will let you just soak in all the sound effects and everything on this one, and then we will move over to the Pride Parade. So here we go. So you can see there's an open top bus going around, so that is looping, and then you've got all of these extra bits and pieces they've added in, and they've done this in for London as well with regards to the Queen's Jubilee. So all of these sort of events they've added in over a period of time, and obviously I do quite like how they're using all the elements and everything for the ice lollies and things like that. And if you look, there are bits and pieces within the shop windows underneath. Now we've got this cool fire truck, so I'm just going to go quiet so that you soak everything in. So when all the animatronics and things are working, it sounds very, very effective. Everything driving around, and everybody cheering, clapping, and just the music in the background. It works really, really, really well. That is what Santapod is missing, but I'm sure that will be coming back, because like I said, they just didn't have the things driving around. So if you're now watching this and you've been back there, please let us know if that is now the case, and if they have got the animatronics and things back up and running. But have you seen how many birds are on the rooftops? Let alone all the people that are eating underneath. And who's having what? So it looks like we've got sandwiches. There's the open bus tour again. And then where else? We've got a little ice cream. We've got the little person with the briefcase there. You've got somebody stood outside the pizza and the travel shop. Everybody's got ice creams. That seems to be a lot of new things. They seem to have added in a lot of those sort of trans blue and yellow pieces into everybody's hands for ice creams and ice lollies. And this, to me, even though it looks like it's been there for ages, I'd never spotted before. I'd never spotted the gliders at the background, and I'd never also spotted the tractor and everything like that, and the boat that is sort of on the stones. There's lots of stuff when you really stop and have a look at just of how much detail there is hidden within. So we've got the old classic cars dotted around here, but then it looks like there's a brand new house with the benches, which we will have a zoom in on. So we've got the cricket pitch, which has always been there, with also being invaded by the sheep, which is always quite funny. Then if you notice, there's a washing line behind it with a pair of pants at the top. And then as we pan up, you have got this brand new house. Now, where this has appeared from, I have no idea, but that looks like it's only just recently been added in, because you can just see how bright it is. So obviously you just go with how weathered it is, but I cannot remember anything being there previous to that. Again, there's your pants and socks and things, and then you've got your little playground behind it. And then we're coming into another little village with a milk float by the looks of it. And I really like that thatched roof. Now again, that looks new to me, and I can't remember seeing that previous before. So even like how they got the little flowers on the top right hand corner. So you've got the letterbox, and then when you've got the thatched roof on the top left and top right hand side, you've got all the little flowers and everything that's been added in there. So they've added in a lot of detail of everything. So Thompson's Arms, I'm guessing it's based on a pub as well. So if you can recognise where that would be, then obviously let everybody know in the comments below. So we have still got just over an hour to go. So I'm so sorry if I'm boring you so far. I did say a while back, just mute me and put your own music on and whatever. We will finish this, I think, by the Eiffel Tower, which is where the huge amount of school children were. But there is some little bits and pieces. So you can see the camping ground underneath that bush. You've got the little tractor just there. And then as we pan down, you can see all the boats moving. So that is the next thing to focus on. This is what, I think there's 3 or 4 boats going around that way. You've got the fire engine up at the top. You've got the train that I've just missed, standard, which was, it literally came in and came shooting straight back out again. Like I said, the train's actually working really, really well. And there's loads in the bank. None of them have crashed today. They're all doing really good. You've got a lot of horsey bits and pieces and dog training. So this is obviously your dog activities. You can see the little pup jumping over there with the sort of the trainee ready to go, or the trainer, shall I say. And then behind that, you've got, I think that's ready for the horses. You've got this massive building. But then I do believe we're going to walk round and we've got a night's show, which again is a really nice display. So you've got all of this at the front. So it's very much a case of find out what you can sort of hunt down and have a look at. You've got all the horses and sort of the people there ready for the jousting, but then you've also got people walking around the front with the walls and things like that. There is nothing hidden on the roofs or the ceiling. And you've got some more cows, and we'll get a better look at all of those at the top as we pan round. But you can see the person that's on the horse jumping over that bit, and then you've got the blue wagon there ready to put the horse back in. The air balloon at Windsor doesn't make a noise, and it doesn't go up and down like the one in Billund. And again, it's nothing like the one in Billund because it's in a completely different. It's in a local town, whereas this obviously isn't. But just because there is an air balloon there, it's not the same thing. So get a bit of a better angle from here, and you can just see the extra knights now on the bottom left. It looks like you've got a little training school, which you've got the 4 little children stood in front of the knight as well. You've got what looks like to be the family stood a little bit further back, which I don't know what they are and who they're doing. But there's the little tents underneath the trees. That's the horses again. There's a group of people underneath the air balloon. Like I said, doesn't move. The train itself, there were just some extra carriages. And then we'll come down and have a look at all of this. Now, I don't know why, but I can't remember ever seeing this before. And then you've got the old wagon driving around. So I don't know if this pig farm is new. I'm going to say it is, because it looks brand new to me. And also the road looks new. So I think they've just added that little bit in. And now this is where I try and get a little bit arty. Absolutely splendid. Doesn't that look nice? You've got all the sheep, and then you've got all the buildings. It just looks really effective. If you can get down nice and low like that, you can get some really nice photos. And that's what's all to come now, because now you've got the opportunities with the buildings, and it all looks nice and proportioned with the vehicles and everything else. I think it just looks really nice. So we'll keep coming around and down, but like I said, I do keep ducking out the way of a lot of people. So we've got like a little chicken farm there, I do believe. Obviously, that's with the new set that has just come out, is perfect. But I think that is new as well. I think I'm sure a lot of these are new. There's no way I've missed this every single time that I've come in. Because I've never seen the pig farm before. I've never seen that chicken farm before. And the thing behind it, I can't even recognise either. And it just looks new. It just looks like it's not like the roof. It looks like it's all been relatively done sooner. Like that, the building there to the left hand side of the park, again, that looks new. It's either been replaced or it's brand new. And then you've got these little things as well. So you've got the people sort of picking up all the apples and stuff off the trees. You've got one or two of those dotted around. But again, that's very much the case if you blink and you miss it, because that'd be really easy to miss, which is obviously what you don't want to be doing. And then you can see how the green changes because that all looks weathered. That all looks weathered behind it. So let us know what you think. Obviously, you've got the combine harvesters further afield. Is it new? Is it older? Have I messed it up? But I think that's a brand new thing. And then you've got the washing line and everything else. So I am going to say it's new. If you are from Windsor, or even if you're a member of staff that have accidentally fallen across this, just agree with me so I don't feel too stupid. If somebody's going to let me drop a comment saying it's been there for like the last 5 years and I've just not seen it, which would just be really embarrassing. So obviously the Eiffel Tower. Now I do believe this is going to be the next massive Lego set that they're going to release. Yep, that is actually me choking. I was actually starting to choke, and I have to admit I had to stop filming my voiceover to actually be able to breathe again, but we're back at it. So what I was going to say before I nearly choked to death was that the new Eiffel Tower is going to be the next big set that follows the Colosseum, I do believe. And again, if you notice, on the bottom, you've got the actual spotlights. So again, at night, this will actually be lit up. Now, I'm hoping that the main lights that they use won't be too overpowering, but I have never ever tried to film the Miniland at night because I've only actually seen it briefly at Christmas in 2019 when I actually stayed over at the hotel in 2019 because they do a like a Christmas package, and I just happened to get like a late minute deal, and it was really cost effective. But not all the park is open, so like the whole Duplo section was shut. Other massive sections are closed as well. I'll save that for another Q&A in a completely different video. So we'll stay on top of the actual Miniland for now, but there are more informational videos to come. So we have this thing. No idea what this is supposed to be. Let me know. I know that sounds really thick, but I know it's going to be a famous landmark, but I don't know what it is. What I do like is the little ones with the balloons that are walking around, all the different benches that are there. You look what looks like potentially a bunch of school children at the front. That's the bit that I'm not 100% sure on. And there is another model right at the back behind the black bit, and I don't know what that chappie's supposed to be doing. And then we're coming around to what looks, again, to me, you can see what I mean now. So you've got the red cars there, which are weathered, and then to the left-hand side, you've got the new Moulin Rouge bit. So loads of pieces have been replaced and continuously get replaced throughout all the seasons. So it's just interesting to see what's just been replaced, actually what is new. So I know a lot of people say that it always looks weathered at Windsor and so on and so forth, but you can clearly see the difference with this. Now, to me, this looks like it's only just recently been put in. Even all the figures and everything at the bottom, they look all brand new. So there's a lot going on within this section, and it's about to get loud in the sec as well, so I will go quiet, and I can't remember what the reason is. It's the space rocket. So what I will do is I'll turn around in a second. I'll go quiet until the rocket lands again, because it will do its own countdown, and I'll catch you straight back up in a sec.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have.
And there we go. So again, the biggest difference between this one and Billund is this one actually moves up, whereas the Billund one doesn't, but it still has the smoke effect. So let us know which one you prefer. Hopefully Billund will get theirs sorted where it goes back up, because they look like they've just refurbed all of their space station section for this year. So they've done a lot of work as well. And I do believe, well, I say I do believe, I know they have replaced all of Germany. So all of that came out, and then that's all been redone. There's that new massive boat that they've just added. So again, if you are liking this video and you think, oh yeah, I want to really waste my whole day listening to me carry on talking, there is another hour and a half video, like I said, available of the full tour of Billund, and I will do this at every park. I can't do it at Dubai because obviously I live in the UK. If I can get back to Dubai, I will do a huge video like this. Really awkward to film though, only because it's indoors and it's really dark, and of music and everything else like that. But the next one I do at Germany, I will do the standard walkthrough like normal, where it's only like a 15-20 minute video of me just walking around with the GoPro, and then we'll do a full fat video like this. Right, so we have got a lot of detail to come. There's a lot of everything going on in here. So we've still got the Queen's Jubilee Parade, which we will see the Queen drive around. We've got to play a game of how many times you can hear the Queen mentioned by every single person that's around from this way. The trains, everything is working in this area, which is really, really nice to see. So I'm stood at the quietest bit, so you see the train leave in a second. The lights have just changed, and then that will ping off. You can see the little copper at the bottom, and then you've got another one on the bottom right-hand corner, and then you've got some more, obviously more people on the bottom left. And then we'll come round. So what I do manage to do as I come round to sort of avoid everybody that's walking in, because like I said, this is actually a main walkway. So where that person is with the rubbish there, that is a main walkway up and down from almost like the park entrance. And you just walk in a straight line for sort of 15 minutes, you'll come to this bit. If you do spot them, they've added in a lot of electrical charging points. So see how many of those that you can count as well. Because there's one there, just the bottom right hand corner. And then we've got all of these different buildings. Obviously, you can recognise what that bridge is. And then as we come round, you'll see that there's a lot of charging points and a lot of ease on cars. Now, if you notice with regards to like the Lego set, see that to me, when I pan back round again now, so I get everybody out the way, that looks absolutely incredible. Minus the bin at the background. So that is probably why I'm going to use this as my actual thumbnail, I think. I think that's the bit that I'm going to use. So what's that? An hour in. So we are 1 hour in and we've hit London. And I might use that as my my screenshot. I just might see if I can just rub away the bin for added effect. So again, in all of these, we're going to have to really pay attention to what is going on. Because even the case of like, if you stop and look at all the boats, there'll be people either eating on the boats, or there'll be sort of like a load of crabs in the back trying to run away and do all sorts of different bits and pieces and everything like that. But like I said, this is on a big sort of horseshoe, so we'll be able to walk around this one quite easily. And this one's not that deep, so it's okay. So you can actually zoom in on both sides of the building, so that's okay. But some of them are absolutely enormous, so you can see the difference. I would like to know why. No, I don't mind it. I think it looks very, very effective visually. But I just find it interesting that the depth of the lands are all completely different, where they are very, very similar to Billund with regards to how you can walk around and like do basically a full 360 around all the lands. Whereas this one, you can only do a 360 because you do have that main path behind it. So it would have been quite interesting if you couldn't get behind it, how it would have been structured differently. Because obviously a lot of the other lands you can't get all the way around. So we've got the boats, lots and lots of boats going on, and then now we're coming to the massive amount of buildings, and we'll come down, you have the big London Eye, and then we've already done a change. I don't even think you spotted that one because I didn't even see it, but we have just done another change. You've got the person with all the shopping, again some nice little picnic bits, loads of trains. This station, I saw them working on this and putting on the roof end of 2021, I think. So this is again new for 2022, because if I do remember, yes, it was 2021, there's loads of signage up saying that they are doing all animatronic work over this year because it hit a certain age, getting it all ready for the 2022 season. So if you find an old video that I did from then, most of this would either be missing, or it would be ripped up, or there'd be human beings picking up all the trains and adding in a load of new trains, or you can see the fire engine, everything is new. And like you can tell by this roof, this has only just been put in, so this is less than a year old. So there's a lot of stuff that they did in London. That's why I was quite surprised that Santa Pod didn't have all the animatronics going, but maybe they're just testing some bits and pieces in there. So like I keep saying, let us know when that's working. If you look at the far background, bottom left-hand corner, well, middle left, shall we say, the parade is going forward and backwards. We will get a better look at that. Can you see the cop car going around dead centre of wherever that is in London? Not visited, so I couldn't tell you. And then there's loads and loads going on, which you will have a better look at as we go around. There's a lot to see within that. So like I said, I do get the camera in there nicely. The Big Ben Tower has obviously been replaced, because if you have watched any of the other videos, the actual main tower shaft bit with the clock on, that is the original one of them, is in the model making studio just as you come in, so you can actually get a really nice photo of that, and it is absolutely massive. So that's always worth having a look at if you've not been there before. So you can see the one worker on the roof. How he's going to get down from there, I have absolutely no idea. But again, these are the places that they would end up putting the reindeer. They put Santa. They'll put all the Halloween stuff in. Yes, that is the red arrows going over. So we will get a better look at that as we go round. So just panning back around to make sure that I've not missed anything, which I don't think I did. I think all the bigger stuff we've seen, and then we can have a really good look. I think what I'm waiting for is to be able to get a better look at the little marching bit, because that is where everybody stops, because obviously that is a big animatronic that's working there, and everybody's obviously spotting the red arrows, so they'll see the red arrows and they'll see those people moving. But you can see there's buses going on. This is the first lot of people we've seen. We're an hour and 5 minutes in, and that's the first person I've had to walk past. So you can just see, depending on where the bits are located in Miniland, it's very much a case of just where the people are. But I'll let you soak this in for a sec. And that is that. So you can see on the park benches, it looks like there's a little puppy dog, and there's obviously the people walking up and down. There's lots of stuff going on at the front, and that's where he throws their change into the water as well. So it'd be interesting to know how much money they make per year of people throwing in there. And then as we come round, you have got this massive tree. This is brand new. I know that's new for the sort of celebration for the Queen Jubilee. And a lot of this is new as well for the Jubilee bit. So this is the celebration that they've done. So everything basically that we're seeing now with the marching bands and everything to the left, which we'll have a look at, that's all just been added in the last couple of weeks, along with these things, which I think look absolutely amazing on top. So it's nice that they've kept them in for a good period of time. Hopefully they'll keep them in for the rest of this season. It'll be quite nice to do. Now, if you just going to have to pay attention, because the bus has moved, and then we will find the Queen driving around. So she is driving around there. So there's the bus. The bus is off. The marching band's going again. So obviously the turnover of people there is quite high. So it's quite good that works regularly, because obviously everybody wants to wait there. But I think this looks amazing.
Wait, is the Queen in there?
So if you look on the balcony, Queen is on the right side. There we go. So that's what, 5 people, I think. It was a couple of different children shouting about the Queen, but yet the Queen has got her yellow hat on up at the top. Obviously, as the bus drives round, there's loads and loads of these figures that have all been built and added specifically for the Queen's Jubilee, which I think is a fantastic touch from LEGOLAND Windsor. And I don't think they made a deal of it, to be honest. I don't think there's anything saying new to Windsor, because there was an Ninjago thing that they did, which I missed, which is annoying, where they added in Ninjago characters, I do believe, round all of the Miniland, a bit like the Mythica game that is available in that playlist that I keep talking about. And they did a Mythica thing, but they haven't mentioned that they've done this or the Pride. They've just added it in, and then just for you to soak it in and sort of figure it out for yourself. But that tree, huge amount of bricks, huge amount of detail outside Buckingham Palace. There's a lot going on here. And you can see that it's very well kept. Most of that, again, looks like it's just been fully refurbed, ready. And you've got the little dogs, and you've got all the people, and you've got some really good haircuts and colours and styles going on that one. And then, like I said, there's that tree that they just added. But as we walk around, we will come around and have a look at the back side of the building. We will then walk over to one of the roads, and the road will have the Queen cruising around in her car, and we will get a nice little view of it. But again, you can just see the size of that building. I'd love to know how many, well, to be fair, it did say, but I just didn't take a picture, how many bricks were used in that. Now this bit here, this was all fluke, to be honest, because I spotted these little guys here, which they would have been there for ages, and I've never spotted that, so I don't know what that's to do with. But as we come up and we have a look to the left and start zooming in on some bits and pieces where you've got the person there carrying the luggage and it looks like the couple with the dog, and then I was looking in all the windows, and then I was just trying to find some other bits and pieces and sort of just panning around, seeing what I can find, get a different look at the red arrows and everything like that. All of a sudden, the Queen pops her head round in her car, and then we'll have a quick look at her cruising around, because it follows the double-decker bus round. So it will go around down the parade bit that we saw. So there she is there, look. So she's cruising around like the Pope in the back of her car. So I thought, right, I can't be bothered to hold the camera, so you can get a nice little view, because the battery is about to die as well. So she jumps off now. There you go, look. So new battery in, and that's quite a cool little. Oh, that's quite a nice little view, that. And now we will carry on going around London. So we are about to break 1 minute and 10, and we have 1 hour and 54 in total. So it's just under the 2 hour mark. So I don't purposely try and make them this long. I can't say that I'm going super slow and purposely trying to drag this out, because there is just a lot of detail within this bit. I think we're in London probably the longest, just because there is the most to see. But you can see the water here is working. So maybe I was right with regards to the one outside of the White House at the start, because I'm sure there might have been water there. I'm gonna say that there was, and it's not running because obviously they've taken out all the shrubbery and stuff at the front. So I will go back sooner rather than later, and I will purposely check that bit out, and I will give everybody an update, because I'm sure you're all anticipating to know the answer from that. Now, they've changed the artwork on this, so it says something along like make a year memories ahead together rather than a day. So you could just upgrade your day ticket to almost a full annual pass. They've got all of those bits and pieces on the website. Again, off topic for a second, there will be a video coming of the process of to book the Legoland ticket, because they've actually added in a lot more stuff that you can now do with regards to adding some bits and pieces with like your BAM figures and all that side of stuff. And they've moved the parking. Now there is a video coming of me trying to escape Legoland Windsor, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it was very emotional. It took forever. So that is something for you to look forward to in the up and coming weeks after this one's been uploaded. Back on track. So, have we got any more electrical charging points? We've got a lot of cycle bits and pieces. We've got some nice little bins. We've got the lorries and everything cruising around and driving about. I'm trying to look in the shop windows. So as the big things are happening, so you can see there's just a lot going on. It's sort of almost ground view street level, whereas because they don't have the balconies and things, you don't have to worry about looking for those scenes within the buildings. But there is still a lot of detail going on out the front, and then you've also got all the buildings and everything to soak in. But I'm going to go quiet just for you to get the atmosphere of this one. That's just another cheeky drink had. So I am, again, going to go quiet in a sec because it gets loud quickly, but I hope the camera picks up everything that is in this sort of marketplace here. It's a bit of a shame. You could kind of see, but you couldn't see everything. So where the stalls were on the outside, the sort of silhouette shape, went all the way through. You could see that with the eye, and it was just full of different people selling some bits and pieces. You can see the little in there with the pink flag, and then you've got all these little benches and stuff out the front. And then as we pan round, it gets very busy again very, very quickly with regards to trying to see absolutely everything. So this all of a sudden now, all the animatronics, all the sound effects, everything is working, and it's just got a really nice atmosphere. So I'm just going to go quiet, let you soak it in for literally 2 more seconds, and I walk off. So that didn't really work, did it? But never mind. Like I said, it's a one-take thing. I'm not going to try and change it. It is what it is. I've got to be honest. But if you do notice, there is I think it's the Everything is Awesome set. I think that's about. You've got some more I think they're more charging points and some bike bits there. So I think they might be your scooters, your little electrical scooters. I thought they were push bikes to start with, but I don't think they are. You've got the little person with the wheelchair just there, and then you've got all the coppers and everything at the front. Nice little photo opportunity by the gates with everything that's going on at the moment. I bet that'd be more busier than what that is now. You've got all the coppers and everything around, and then behind it, I'm guessing that is supposed to be the Houses of Parliament. As we come round, what do you like? What's your favourite building? Are you learning any new building techniques as well? Like, for example, that little letterbox, or would you want to make a taxi, black cab? Do you want the cabs from the UK? Do you want the cabs from London? So there it is there. Look, that's been there since day one of that set coming out. So that nice rainbow set has been out literally from day one. They've just left it in the centre of London. And if you did notice, there's a lot of people, for whatever reason, eating candy floss in there. And this is the next thing that's just been added in. They must now have a partnership with John Lewis and Waitrose, because you can see both of those wagons just down there in the bottom right hand corner, and then you've got both delivery persons sort of just there out and about doing some bits and pieces, and what looks like to be another new double-decker bus as well. So they really have added in a lot to this. The buildings itself, don't get me wrong, the landmarks aren't going to change, are they? Unless somebody ends up making a new landmark, they're not going to change unless there's some that they still need to add. But all these little bits and pieces, like I said, the John Lewis and the Waitrose, the delivery drivers, everybody that's on the bridge, all of this can change. They put them in different places. They can obviously have different animatronics driving around, and the scenes like here, for example, these can change nice and easy. So there's a lot of everything that can be redone, but you've just got to take this much time to look around. I really like this side of it. The rides are fine. I don't mind going on the rides and doing all those little bits and pieces, and obviously filming them is obviously really good fun. But I really do like soaking all of this in, because it's one of those that you could easily just sort of walk past and miss, but they purposely add in a lot of detail, and I really appreciate that sort of stuff. So they've even got me like trying to look in all the windows, just seeing if they've been cheeky to add in the odd thing here, the odd thing there. London is a prime example of what all of the other bits and pieces will be like as they carry on attacking it all, and I really am looking forward to seeing what else they're going to do as this expands. I mean, if they can add any more in, where are they going to put it? What would they do? What would you like to see building-wise that is missing from something so far? One of the comments before was the Shard. The Shard's not in here. Let us know. Let us know what you would like to see. If something had to be replaced, because obviously it was battered and weathered, because don't forget we're in the UK, so things do get damaged, and then they came up with almost like a pole, what would you like to be added in? And look how clean this open top bus is. That has to be brand new for 2022. Every single model is brand new, and there's only like one leaf in there as well. So that is a very, very new model. And then we will carry on now, soak in some more bits and pieces just in front, and then we'll move up to the left-hand side, and we'll see the other little bits and pieces that are available in there. And then I think we go to Scotland, then we go to Wales, and then from there we will go over, I think, to Denmark, Italy, Netherlands. I think that's the ones that are still to come. So like I said right at the very, very start of this video, this is very, very different with regards to the different types of things to see in this Miniland compared to a lot of the other ones that I've been before. I've not been to the Miniland in Florida since they've redone it. So you guys from the States, please let us know what the one's like in New York, if I've got anybody that have accidentally stumbled across this. If not, I will try and find out from some people that are on the old Instagram, and they can hopefully try and send me some photos over. So I keep saying it, all the trains around London working absolutely fine, and the reason why I'm saying trains is later on there will be people chasing the trains about. So in about 20 minutes time you'll hear all the kids running around trying to chase the trains because they just go full loop round, and there's about 5 or 6 different tracks and they go absolutely mad for it, and it wears the little ones out, so that's obviously that's a good thing for everybody. So we've got the big old buildings just up here, and then we've got this crane here, and now there is a bit of land here, so this makes me wonder if they are going to put another big building in here, because I don't know if this is an Easter egg and a tease with regards to, they got the big crane and they got almost like the construction crews in. That is a big enough square footage to put another massive thing in. So will they? That is going to be the next question, because obviously that crane is very, very impressive, but they could easily pick this display up and move it into the next section as a little bit of a teaser for the next thing that's going to be coming in the next year or two. So is it something that they're thinking of doing, or am I just looking too far into this and overthinking it like I normally do with absolutely everything else? But that is London about to finish. Let me know what you think of that. I think that looked fine to me. I think it looked really, really nice, colourful. Everything was what it was, and it just looked like it was all hustly and bustly. And now we've got this big bit here, and then I think possibly big Windsor Castle, and then we move on to the next sections. We have the models on the outside, obviously the trucks and things like that. What I mean is the outside, you've got the black boxes, where I do believe there were some figures in, just couldn't get into the angle, but this has all been added. So we will have to have a look and see what we've got with regards to actual figures, people eating. Get nice and low on this one, looks like. Just let you soak it in. Yes, that is God Save the Queen playing in the background. So I'm not too sure if that was from this display or it was from the one next door, but it was the first time I heard it. So don't know what that was to do with, but I'd never heard that playing before. So I don't know if that is a new thing that they've added in. But the building itself, absolutely massive and amazing. But there's a lot of detail again with, you've got the Union Jacks, you've got the balloons, you've got all the different elements for the food in there. Just have a look at what they've got. They've got all the bottles, they've got the bread, they've got the cakes, bananas, apples, everything. They've added every single element in. So on this side here, what do we think with regards to these tables? Do we like what we're seeing? Which side do you think's got a slightly better display? Because I think the ones on the left, it is slightly different to the one that is on the right-hand side with regards to, obviously, you've got the wheelchair, for example, and you've got different people sat there. So they haven't really doubled up too much with regards to like the figures and things, but I really like that dog with the old lady holding her purple ice cream. I think that's a really nice touch. And then I think we will get up and we'll move on, but I'll let you soak it in again. So the noises that you're hearing in the background is actually from the Ninjago show. So what they've done is they've reopened up the sort of character meet and greet tent, which is up by the brick area, because it's the big open space that they've got for the grass and things like that. And then that's what you can hear going on in the background. So hopefully it's not too overpowering with her microphone and mine. But, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't go on for too long, and then we'll move on. But again, now this is where you've got to start looking. We've moved into a completely different section, and there's lots of different things to look at. So there's people higher up in this one there. So they're up higher and they're lower. And there's just quite a bit to come with regards to bits and pieces that within the buildings. And then you've also got the little doors, you've got people in the windows. There will be, I do believe, bits and pieces coming in onto the roof as well. So again, that's only the second person I've had to walk past. So that's what, an hour and 23 in, so we've not done too bad. You've got lots of roads hidden within. So you've got like these little bridges, very much a case of you can blink and you miss it, and then you've got the little cattle and the sheep, I do believe, or maybe some cows, probably sheep, just underneath there as the lorry drives around. But if you get too low like that, you can't actually see the road. So if you are shorter, you wouldn't see it. But then you've got all of the canoes come shooting down. They look new to me. They look like they've all been redone, because I'm sure there wasn't 4 colours originally. Quite interesting that they've used the same 3 colours outside the front of the brick house and added in a green. So they seem to stick to the same sort of 4 colours with regards to that side of stuff. And then, where else are we going to be going? Moving down and round. So this is a little bit more open now, a little bit more weathered, but again, it is what it is. It's an outdoor display. What do you expect? We've been spoiled with all the new additions into the bits and pieces that we've seen so far. Now this will be more than likely the next bit that they move on to. They've managed to do a really good job with cutting all the bushes and everything down. As I can remember speaking to somebody after the park reopened after the first lot of COVID. And obviously nobody was working here, were they? Everything was shut, so every single tree had overgrown, all the bushes had overgrown. It was an absolute nightmare. Train coming. And that was another sneaky change. I think that was another battery change. I thought I didn't do that one too badly. Didn't do that too badly. They are almost every 5 minutes with regards to how these files have to record. So it not too bad. But again, the reason why this bit is slightly busier is because you've got that Ninjago tent. So that show's just finished. So you've got people coming from the Ninjago bit to here, but then you can carry on walking in a straight line. It does take you into the park. So it's not like they've purposely fed people walking down the middle of the Miniland, so you look at everything. You can see everybody in the background just sort of leaving the show and heading back into the park. It's just how the layout is with the path around the outside. It'd almost be nice if the path actually went straight down the middle, so it made people come into the Miniland, not just sort of take a photo of the outer edge then shoot off. Because I think some people do not realise how big this Miniland is, because of where the other bit is, the end of this Miniland. It's the Duplo section. So if you looked at it on the map and were like, oh no, my little ones are too old to go to the Duplo section, you then would have no reason to walk all the way through the Miniland. But again, this Miniland was here before the park started to expand. So it'd just be really interesting with the new parks that are opening up, like the one, for example, that has just opened up in Korea and the one in New York. Had they purposely thought of where the Miniland was placed for the park expansion, or have they just thrown it in anywhere? Let me know if you have been to those parks, or even if you're a local. I know there's 1 or 2 people over from America that do watch this channel, and I think they might have been to the States. Sorry, they've been to the one in New York, obviously because they're from the States. And again, also I've got 1 or 2 people that I've sort of seen that have gone to the one in Korea. So it'd be interesting to know what you guys think for further expansions with regards to their Minilands, and if you've got any ideas of what you think they could potentially add in to this Miniland, it would be really, really interesting to know. So I don't know with regards to a Miniland area which way they could go. Because over the last couple of years, they've obviously added in the sort of Miniland USA. Loads of that's new. They've ripped out whatever used to be there and they've added in that new section. So I can't see them having any more space to extend. I can just see them potentially just chopping and changing some bits and pieces instead. So we are nearly on the home straight. We are 1 hour and 27 and a bit minutes in of 1 hour and 54. So we're not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. I haven't sat down yet. I've only stopped the microphone once when I was literally choking to death, nearly. I ended up face planting the laptop. Can you imagine that on my tombstone? Died via choking trying to do a YouTube upload. But we survived it. We pulled through. So we're going to soldier on right to the very end. We've now just broken 1 hour and 28. So we're back into the more spacious area with regards to a lot more water and boats. And they've got a good mix, I think, with regards to just having this kind of stuff within the Minilands. It would be quite full on if it was just solely as busy as, for example, like London or the NASA space bit. but because they've got these big open areas as well, it's really nice because you've got to pay attention to this sort of stuff. So there's people going up and down the rocks at the back. You'll see some helicopters in the background. You've got some lifeguard bits and pieces going on. You've got people in the boats getting ready to go. You've got the little people in the towns. Look, you've got people in the little buildings and things. So even though it's more spacious, there's a lot to look at. So you've got the boats here, and then to the right-hand side, there was people in that building, which I think I would have missed, but I know that they're there. But there's people all sort of around the outer edge. You've got this little building just here, and then behind that, you've got some more bits and pieces to look at, which I think is a load of games. You've got like tug of war and different bits and pieces like that. I think I go down to try and get the train, which then doesn't appear because there's the train track just there, and that's where the tunnel comes through. I thought the train was coming, it didn't, so never mind. But again, you've got up at the back, look, you've got the search and rescue big helicopter that is above the water. So there's an animatronic working just there, trying to get all the bits and pieces in with regards to everything that's going on the tables and chairs. And like I said, you've got the tug of war and everything like that. So you've really got to look almost a little bit harder because they will add in some little bits and pieces that you don't really expect. There we go, look, there it is at last. So you can see right at the back where the water's coming down, you've got the helicopter, and then you've got all the other little bits and pieces as well going on. So there's a lot, there's a lot to take in, but like I was saying about the mix, it's just a nice mix of very, very full on, and then making you look for different bits and pieces, which again they've done in Billund, where you walk around some of the ones in Billund and they're very, very built up. And then you've got a lot of water-based ones in Billund as well, and how they've redone Germany with the massive boats, and then they've added in all the new buildings and things. I think that looks extremely effective for their new section. But with where we are currently, they have lots of smaller buildings up really, really high, and then there's nothing in front of them with regards to going around Scotland. So all of this is just actual shrubbery, or everything that we're walking now, there's nothing there. Then you can't even see the train track that goes underneath. Then all of a sudden we come to this absolutely massive model, and then you have all the bagpipes and everything playing in the background. So there's, again, if you've travelled this far, hopefully they've got it nice and accurate for you. So as the bagpipes are playing in the background, we will carry on going around, so you can see the train and everything that's underneath. You can see just how big this building is, just with regards to the model. And there's a lot of detail within that. They've added in some nice little models and things. The buses, the bus does work, but again, I don't know if this was working at this time. And the water isn't going on that one either. So again, maybe they are just sorting out their sort of filtration systems and things like that, and they're all connected up on this side, because don't forget, this where we are is basically in a straight line to the left, and then we would walk to the bit in America. So if they've got all the same sort of pipe work and stuff that links them all, I'm just trying to help on that one, but I think that might be the case. Because obviously, like I said, we've seen some working, some not. They must be in the process. Now, I do quite like how they've got the displays within here, as in there's a lot in the windows. So not only obviously does it look really impressive looking down the roads, but if you look at the windows, there's a lot of stuff in the windows and all around the models, and you've got some really nice sort of like funky t-shirts and some really bright shoes and trainers. You've got the yellows and the reds, and you've got the multicoloured tops and things. Somebody else has fallen over, but there's just, again, lots to look at. And then this has been here a good while now, and I like what they're doing with this and how they've laid up all the tiles and everything, and they've just put it on a standard 32 by 32 base plate. So just your normal grey 32 by 32. And then all of a sudden it's now got busy again with regards to all the buildings, and there's more models, there's more cars. They've utilised that land well with regards to actual shrubbery. So they've actually used the landscape with that one the most. I think that is the most they've used it with the hills and everything like that. Right, we are broken hour and a half, so we're not bad at all. So I think we've got back to see Stonehenge. We've got the little tents and things at the front. Got a nice little bus there, which I do believe is almost the same pattern bus that you would get coming into Legoland Windsor, I think. Then you've got the little tents and stuff out there. I think that's Stonehenge at the back. This, well, not to spoil it for you, but last year was where they had the main pumpkin patch display. So it'd be interesting to see if they put it in the same place when I come back. If I can get back to this one for the 2022 season for Halloween. If not, I'll come back here for Christmas instead, because I've got some other ideas that are in the pipeline that are going on. So you've got the nice fish market. So hopefully you picked that up. He was saying that's orders please, and then you actually had all the seagulls and everything in the background, and then you've got the sound effects of the trains and everything going over the top. So there's quite a lot going on just within this little area, but you can see the boats and everything. Some of them are brand new colours, some of them are a little bit weathered. And you've got the seagulls and everything in the background. Obviously that is a sound effect, that is not actually the birds at Windsor. So all the birds that you've heard that go walking around the different areas, they're not actually around Windsor. That is obviously the speakers and things that they've hidden within. But we're coming into a bit more of a noisier area, so I will keep stopping and starting, and we'll keep having a look. Now I've got this bit gets a little bit awkward, only because you'll see why. I won't spoil it for you, but I'll let you count how many times. So we got round the person, and then I think that's supposed to be the Angel of the North. I think that's where we're supposed to be up now. So I think we're supposed to be up by like the ports, up by Newcastle, Angel of the North, and that sort of area this way. This bit, I still never know where this bit is. I know you've got Wales on the other side, but my geography is so bad, I don't know what this bit is. I know this is supposed to be part of the UK, but I can't tell you. So you guys are going to really have to fill me in on this. But I know, again, they've added in and replenished and replaced all of the track. They've redone sort of where all the trains stop. They've done a lot of stuff with regards to just the boats. They've added a massive big boat at the top. They've added in some cranes, I think, and they've added in the big buildings as well. So this area got loads of TLC over the last sort of couple of months, or last year, shall I say. So they did a really nice job on that. And again, you can see this is working. So this all been refurbed, all been redone. And then we will start to move up and round. So any of the animatronics there, hopefully you've heard, and they've come up and picked through nicely. And we will get to move on in a second. And the reason why it's taking so long, you'll see in a sec. So again, brand new red, weathered red. You can't say that all of that hasn't just been recently changed. And then they've even added in a new effect at the coal centre, I do believe, which is up in the top left-hand corner, where they have added in a lot of smoke and things, which is a really nice effect. So I will show you that one in a second. That is not a twin. That is the same person. Don't know why, but I didn't stop moving on that one. So how that person got past me and stood right beside me again, I don't know. But it was just like voodoo magic, that one. But that, I think, is a new effect. I've never seen that before, and it's nice that they have tweaked that and added. But you can now see we are at the children running for train section. So you'll hear a load of parents in a minute going absolutely mental at their kids, because there's 4 tracks there, 3 trains running. That then splits. There's 5 different tracks there, and all the trains are now working because they've only just recently finished all these tracks, which is fantastic, because they were still in the process of actually doing the layout of the tracks. So all of these were ripped up. They've changed where they go ever so slightly. I think the trains get a little bit closer to the walkway. That's really nice to see, so the kids can obviously see them. And it works because they just love to hunt them down and love to chase them. And it does the trick, because they go around this whole island as such. So what you do is you basically stop, and it cuts back in on itself by the water. And then you can see them in the background, all of them running back round. And they are trying to hunt down the trains. But I wanted to know what they were. So I don't know what they are going into that factory. All the colourful things. I have absolutely no idea what is being produced within that. And then you've got the nice little train, the train station just down. So we all come down now. That's another train that they're trying to hunt down. You've got the little train station underneath. You've got all the carriages and all those little bits and pieces. You've got the cement mixers and things going on there. That's all new. That thing down in front of us is new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things there. That green thing has just been added in. All of this has just been added in as well. So if you came in here, say end of last year, most of this was all ripped up. It was all ripped up, all under construction, and I think they've done a really nice job with just getting all the colours and everything done. And you can see the bridge at the back, that's now up. So that the animatronic for that is working, where it goes back up and back down again, which is a nice, again, real nice touch. So we've just got to do the rest of this loop, which will then take us into Wales, and then from here we will then go to the bottom 2 lands, and then we are finished, because we're an hour and 40 in. There's an hour and 54 to go. We finish on the 2 easiest lands, which is basically just models and spacious, so we just have a nice gentle walk around the outside. There's not loads and loads of things to sort of try and pick out and hunt down like that. For example, that new forklift that they've added in, with all the big shipping containers. I say pallets then, that's not the right word. All the shipping containers, and you've got the skip, that's new, all these sort of carriages and everything. So whoever's done this and created this idea, hats off to you, because it's a great idea. So that's why we started. We started there, and we've just gone from land to land to land to land to land, and now all we've got to do is go back past Wales. The reason why I'm not filming to the right hand side is because they're actually paid to play race boats. So I thought, well, you're not really going to want to see that too much, are you? So we'll just get round, walk through, get past all of those people, and then come back into the area to carry on filming the last couple of bits and pieces. But you can see London, how far that is away now, because you can see the London Eye in the background, and you can just see how much water there is here. So those race boats just to the right hand side, you've got the divider, and then now we're back to the Lego side of stuff. So all of these are now Lego boats, and there's a lot of them. And it was, not that it's actually picked it up on camera, but it does keep raining from time to time. So we were very, very lucky with regards to being able to get all this filmed in this detail, and the weather held off. I thought it was going to start raining this afternoon, and it was going to be absolute misery and miserable, but it wasn't. It seemed to be okay. So you've got all the caravans and things at the top, you've got all the little people in the boats, and then you've got the lighthouse, and then there's obviously a lot of boats and everything around. You can just see it from a different perspective stood this way of where we were with regards to the trains and things. And now as we come round, you've got more of the seaside feel. So you can see how they've got everybody in the bathing suits and swimsuits just chilling out, getting some form of tan with what we can get within this English weather. And then you've got the little buildings, you've got the little stall and stand there, little boats, and then they're all easy enough to see, aren't they? I don't really have to say too much for them. We've done all the hard bit now. We're onto the home straight now, which is nice. So it's just nice and simple. And you've got all the buildings, which I think look really effective with how it's staggered. So you've got three stories high, and then there are 1 or 2 little models and things sort of just dotted around. You've got the fans behind, and then we can see the Ninjago tent coming to the left hand side. It's not the white bit, it's further on, so it's got the Lego flag in the top right hand corner. I think now we're going to have to do a little bit of a dive around 1 or 2 people, so it might get a little bit choppy for a minute or 2, but it doesn't matter. I think we've done all right for the last hour and 42 minutes. I think we've done okay. And now we're coming in and around to the same section that I zoomed in before, but just from a different angle. And then we are going to pan around and have a look at the bits and pieces that are up at the top of this hill. And then you can see the fan blaze in the background stall. There is a reason why I'm stalling. It's just I was really hoping the people would just sort of slowly shimmy and move on, and they didn't. So I ended up cutting some bits and pieces off and out. But well, I say up and out, I just had to walk past them and then come back in again. So not that you could tell because they are stood there. Can you see? No, that's all right then. Good. I've managed to. You did. I thought I got past it, but never mind. I got a ponytail in, but this is what is a nice thing. This is where they put a lot of models as well. So these. So what they do up here is where they've got games and things playing, they will add in a lot of the models. So they will put a lot of stuff in there for Christmas, or they'll put some stuff in there for Halloween, and it's just an area where they will go to. But if you think they've got to walk through the water to be able to do it, so you've got to appreciate the effort they add in for the display for the seasonal. Right, it's going to get nice and belly. Now, they have just added in that brand new model to the bottom left. So what they have just done is that there's a person had just put that little slide in when I was walking to Santapod to start to film, and there was actually somebody in here adding that display in, and they had just put that bit in. They were doing that and a bit of repair work as well, so that was absolutely perfect time. But if you did notice, yep, there was a car on there that couldn't get round with the sheep. We're now at the little church with the graveyard, and then I think we're going to start hearing some music from the rugby. No, got that wrong. It was the church bells. We will hear the rugby as well, but we will wait for that to happen. There's the train, and then we are going to be coming to the next area. So it will cut. There we go. So that I knew there was a bit that we had to cut off. So you can hear the national anthem in the background as we're having a look at this, and I just had to do it the opposite way. So this would have been the next thing that you would have seen now, but I just couldn't get there because there's a load of people taking photos. But like I said, there's just certain bits. So if this is from your hometown, this is obviously where you're going to be going to first, and it was just very, very similar to Wales and Scotland and everywhere like that. It's just a case of if you were from there, you would do it. But this bit now, we've moved on to completely different land. I cut the walk off. I didn't think you'd want to see a couple of minute walk. Just listen to this. So it's super peaceful, super quiet, super clean, super spacious, and there's nobody about. And this is down by the brick area, which is now where you've got the build and play experience on the inside. You've got the trains and stuff going around, but there's literally nobody about this way, because if you've got the Jubilee Valley bit up at the far end, if people are going to go into there, they just go straight through. And I don't know where else they can expand. So I thought they might have actually extended the Miniland bigger to where that brick is now, but that they've obviously now put a build to play bit in there. So I don't think they need to, nor do I think they can actually extend this area any bigger. But everything, so that those things that are in that boat look like the same things that were going on that conveyor belt, and I have no idea what they're supposed to be. So if you can let us know what they are in the comments below, that would be fantastic. Now the blades do work. Some of them were going really, really quickly. Some of them are just ticking over nice and slowly. And again, looks like they've cleared out all the water and they've replaced it all with different bits and pieces. There's no mess, muck, leaves or anything in there. Again, you've got the graveyard, good for Halloween. They'll put some zombies and things in there as well. So just giving you the heads up when you're coming around playing the games. And you've got the old lady, which I find that scene quite sad, to be honest. It's one of those, isn't it? It's going to happen to everybody. And then as we pan up and come round, like I said, the last two areas, it's just sort of a little bit more of a show and tell, because it's not a massive amount to soak in. So this area here is relatively new, I do believe, with regards to just the slides and everything. I think that's very similar to what they've just put up in Wales. So it's quite nice that they've added in those sort of little play areas and bits, because obviously it's good to add them in, and it gives something else to look at. But with regards to how this layout is, it's all big buildings, and you've got the boat that's going across, and that will have some sort of animatronic driving around, but I think it gets off at the other side. So I wait for it here. I think it's already on it, so it doesn't get off, and then it goes over to the other way. So either the vehicle that's supposed to be driving around doesn't get on it, or it gets on the other side. I can't remember. So I think it's that blue car that's coming around at the top. And then we've got what looks like the massive sort of greenhouse section. You've got all these big boats. They are obviously going round and round. But yeah, like I said, the buildings themselves, because of how it is and how far back it is, because this is another sort of very deep walkway, you can't really see too much with regards to the bits in the middle. It's almost like I would like to be able to walk down the centre of it and sort of do a big figure of 8, but then you're not going to be able to put the water in, you're not going to be able to do anything like that, and it's going to cost an absolute fortune. So it is what it is with it. But you can see there was a vehicle on there, so it's the old camper. But does it get off? Do I even wait? Probably not. No, it doesn't get off. The boat's moving, but the camper isn't, which is a bit of a shame. And the vehicles, none of those move. So maybe none of it was working at this time. Can you imagine the camper just driving off and going straight into the water? That would be an absolute nightmare if that happened. If they got all the timing and everything wrong. But you got the little phone booths. So maybe that's another reason why this was a little bit shorter, because the cars and things weren't running on this bit either. With regards to the roof and stuff like that, again, nothing on it. The detail, I think, looks absolutely amazing with regards to the buildings and things, but because there's nothing in the windows or anything to look at, it's very much a case of just soaking the fascia of the buildings. You've got the bridges just to the right-hand side there. You can see some of the buildings do look relatively new. That big green thing behind is the brick. That is the big building area that we've got. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just walk to the left-hand side, and then we'll have a quick look with regards to the last area, and then we are done. So guys, I am starting to run out of time, even though there's a couple of minutes left, but if you can like, subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I probably should have said that an hour and 49 minutes ago, but you know, it is what it is. But we'll spend the last couple of minutes together. Hopefully you enjoyed it, hopefully you're still watching. Let us know if you would like more of this type of video to come. Going by the feedback that I had from the first one from Billund, it was people liked it, so hopefully people like this one just as much. Obviously they take for absolute ever to film, and then I've got to do a live voiceover with it, so it takes what, 6 to 8 hours in total easily to do this one video. But I find it really enjoyable, and I find it quite therapeutic actually with regards to actually filming it all, because like I said, I really do like looking for all the buildings and everything like that. But by the time I finish speaking, I won't want to say anything else for the rest of the day after I've done this. My jaw is now starting to hurt a little bit, but we have nearly done it. We've soldiered on. There's little bits of hidden detail within regards to the horse and carriage, but again, now it's just really open space. So I think we'll pan round, turn round, and we'll have a look in a second at the last area, and then that will be that. But in the comments below, let us know what your favourite section is. Let us know what your favourite model is. Have you learned any building techniques? Is there anything that you would like to do and copy? And how does this compare to your local Miniland? Now, obviously, if this is your local Miniland, because you are UK based, then just let us know what you actually think, and if you've spotted anything new, if you haven't been, well, if you've been here before but just missed a lot of stuff. Hopefully I've found some bits and pieces that you guys have missed, because obviously that is the point of this. And then just if I've missed anything with the voiceover or anything like that, let us know again in the comments below. But hopefully, between us all, we have now finally finished and accomplished all of Miniland for LEGOLAND Windsor, until they change the display and change little bits and pieces in a couple of months' time for Halloween. So for now, hopefully it is all done. We can tick that box. But if you actually did manage to see this over the time that they had the Ninjago weekends, and you saw it, did they fill all the areas up with the Ninjago models, or did they just have like the big dragons in there? How did that compare to what we're seeing? What we're seeing now. Now, also what we are also seeing now is, that's what I mean about that Jubilee Valley. The big Jubilee Valley is just down by the left. So people would literally just sort of loop around and go straight into there, rather than coming to this section of the park. But I find that this model here is unbelievable detail with regards to just the patterns in the wall, how they've added in like holes and everything. It's just, there's a lot going on, but it's very easy just to miss it. But if you look at everything that they've done, that must have taken the designer ages to do. And there's one or two little bits and pieces in the window, but nothing drastic whatsoever. And you can see like the little shutter blinds in the windows, and just the huge amount of effort and detail that's been put into it, which I massively appreciate. So hopefully you guys do as well with regards to everything. That's obviously the reason why you're watching this. And we're going to finish it with some nice animals. Why not? Let's have a look at some cows, shall we? So some nice cows to finish with, and then we've got this bunch, and then the next bunch. I think there's some more a little bit further to the right hand side maybe, and then I'm sure there is, yeah, some sheep. There they are. I knew there was something else, that's why I was crouching down there for so long. Probably because my legs were hurting. Because don't forget, I actually filmed this in one take as well, so everything that you're seeing now is all one take. I do the whole thing straight after each other, so I don't miss anything, and then try and do the voiceover exactly the same way. There's a little bit of detail going on with this. We've got like the little choir boys, I do believe, in the middle, and then you've got all the little figures and everything dotted up, having a bite to eat on the sort of cheese there up at the top. And then as we're coming around, it's just more big buildings. And I think there's one or two buildings missing from here, so I think that's why that is a little bit more open than what it normally would be. But you can see just the massive amount of detail to that huge building on the outside from the back, and obviously you've got all the flags and everything to the side. You've got the bright red and white bits and pieces at the back end. No animatronics going around that yet, Hopefully they might add something of that back in. And then as we come round back to the front, you will see quickly all the bits and pieces that are underneath the green canopy, the cars that are underneath there. We'll have a quick zoom in, hopefully. And then I can then go quiet to end the video. So you've got all the tables and chairs. Have they added in anything in the bottom? No, but they have got some really nice stained glass windows though, so I think that looks really, really effective. But guys, that is it. I can now say we have run out of time. So I'm just going to say it one more time. If you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care and hope to catch you in the next one. Ta-da.